G'day YouTube, Down to Bricks here. I'm back with another collection video, and today we are having a look at the LEGO Star Wars sub-theme, the Ultra Builds, or commonly known as Buildable Characters. This sub-theme kicked off in 2015, so we're clocking up to 2 years with this theme, and here we are in 2017 with this theme still going strong. So let's run through who we have on the table here. I have grouped them, so on the back row up the top there, starting on the left hand side, we have our prequel movie characters. We have Jango Fett, Clone Commander Cody, Obi-Wan Kenobi and General Grievous. And then we have our original trilogy characters, so I only have two of those, Darth Vader and Luke Skywalker. And going down onto the bottom row on the left, we have all of our Force Awakens characters, Captain Phasma, a First Order Stormtrooper, Poe Dameron, Finn, Rey, and of course Kylo Ren. Moving on to our Rogue One characters, we have Chirrut Imwe, we have Jyn Erso, K2SO, Baze Malbus, the Imperial Death Trooper, and the Scarif Trooper. If you're wanting to know the set numbers for these buildable characters and the year they were released, I'll put it all in the description, so please just check out in the description. Now I'm really keen to have a chat about these builds and what I've liked and what I haven't liked, but before we do that, let's go and have a quick run through and have a close look at these Ultra builds. So now the run through's done, let's get down to the nitty gritty and have a chat about these Ultra builds. Now I know they are not everybody's cup of tea. Not everyone is a fan of these Ultra builds. I can understand that. To be honest, when they first came out, it was something I was going to give a miss as well. I, however, picked up the General Grievous and the Darth Vader, and from there I was really hooked, and it just made me go out and buy a couple more, and I just kept going with it, and now I have the whole collection here to date. And I have to say, as a collective, just looking at them all here lined up, I do think they look awesome. I'm very, very impressed with the overall look of this collection. But it is, however, without its drawbacks, and everybody knows that the human face sculpts are something that LEGO has struggled with right from the very beginning of these Ultra builds, and it has continued through to the latest Rogue One characters. And while I think they probably have made a slight improvement, it really is still hit and miss with these face sculpts. And just to give more of an example of that, let's look at the latest Rogue One characters with human face sculpts. And to start with, when I saw the Baze Malbus, the pictures of Baze, I really didn't think he looked too good at all. Actually getting him in hand and building him, he does look better than what I was thinking he was going to. And the detail on the face with the scar down the side of the face, I do think that looks pretty good. But if we look at Jyn Erso, and while I do think that face sculpt with the hat and the goggles, and I do think it looks really good, it just doesn't look like the character at all. So it's a bit of a miss there. But I'd have to say, like with Chirrut Imwe, that face sculpt is awesome. I actually think that is probably the best human face sculpt that we've got to date. I think it does a great job of looking like the actual actor that played the part. So I think they have done a good job with that, and it actually pushes that one right up on my ranking of my favourite Ultra builds. Now on the flip side to that, any character with a helmet or a droid, I just think those are outstanding. There's no other word for it. They really are outstanding. They look fantastic. The printing is top notch, and I'm just continually impressed with what LEGO produce with these types of characters. Something else I think they've made an improvement with in the last couple of waves of characters is the addition of some new parts. And while I think some of these pieces have added to the overall look of the characters, it's really assisted with the functionality of them as well. The main piece I'm talking about here is this new thigh guard, this thigh piece here. And because that is a more rounded piece and it actually goes around the ball joint, it actually allows for a lot more leg movement and really assists with the posability, and you can get some really fantastic poses with these characters with this new piece. Now I do need to mention I have added a few little bits and pieces to a couple of these characters just to make them look a little bit better, and with Kylo Ren I've added a hood, and I think that has made a bit of an improvement. It's a great looking Ultra build as it is, but I just think it just adds a little bit to that character. And of course the Luke Skywalker, which I think has probably copped the most criticism out of any of these Ultra builds. And what I've actually done there, I've added a few more parts to him and a cape and a hood, and really tried to cover him up as much as possible. And I do think what I have done there does look a lot better than the original Luke Skywalker we were given. Another highlight for me with these characters is the printing. Now I did already talk about the printing on the helmets and such, but I just think the overall printing, the printing we get on the torsos, I just think LEGO do a great job with the printing. I must say I was really disappointed with the very last Ultra build that I did build, and that was Baze Malbus, because it actually had stickers for the torso. For the first time, we've actually had to apply stickers to the torso to give you all of that detail instead of print. Now we have got stickers before K2SO, had a couple of little stickers, but they were very minor, and I really didn't think that sort of took away from the overall build. But I'm really hoping that LEGO are not going to go down the path and just start giving us stickers for these main torso pieces, because it's the printing that I really think helps set these builds apart from some of the other LEGO sets, and it will be a real shame if LEGO go down the route of giving us stickers instead of printed chess pieces. So I think now it's time to start talking about what are my favourites of this collection. I'm going to break it down a little bit before I give my overall favourite characters. So let's break it down into the bigger sets we have here, and we're going to start with the Rogue One characters. I think as an overall release of characters that these Rogue One characters as a whole are some of the best looking Ultra builds. So much so I have a really hard time picking a favourite, and I've actually got three that I really can't separate, and I'm going to start with Chirrut Imwe. As I said earlier, I really think he does look outstanding with his weapon, the posability, the cloth wrap. I just think he's an outstanding looking character. K2SO, you can have a lot of fun coming up with some great poses. I love that pose there where he's shaping up, so he's a lot of fun. The headpiece is really outstanding. It's a great buildable character, and the other one I really love too, it's going to come down to the troopers. I do love the Death Trooper, but I'm going to go the Scarif Trooper. The printing, the sort of scuffed up markings on the helmet, it's really an outstanding looking buildable. So I'm definitely going to sit on the fence with those and just name all three of those as my favourites, and that's what I mean. I just think as a collective those six there look fantastic together. And now we'll move on to the Force Awakens characters, and I think probably the weakest one here for me is Finn. I do really like the Rey. I think Rey looks really cool. The First Order Stormtrooper, he's pretty awesome. Great helmet piece. Captain Phasma, she looks awesome, doesn't she? Great cape piece. The overall look of that character is just fantastic. But without a doubt, my favourite is Kylo Ren. With his super cool helmet, I just think he is awesome. Okay, so now I've gone through and given you some of my favourites throughout this collection. It's time to finally give you my top picks of the Star Wars Ultra builds. And my favourite here, we're going to go back to the very first releases of this theme, and I'm going to have to go with General Grievous. My oh my, what a fantastic looking character. In this form, he is just absolutely fantastic. There's no other word for it. But I just have to say he is closely followed by Darth Vader. I mean, how can you not love that buildable character? With that helmet sculpt, he really is very, very cool. So my advice, if you haven't picked up any of these Ultra builds and you have thought about it and you're tempted to delve in and see what they're like, I would definitely start with Grievous and Darth Vader. And if that's all you're going to collect, I just think those two characters on display with your other Lego sets are just going to look great. But if you do want to jump in a bit further than that, I would say go and pick up all of the Rogue One characters. As I said, as a collective, they really do look good. And if you're a Rogue One fan, if you're watching this, of course you're a Rogue One fan, I do think they are great Ultra builds to pick up. Well, I hope everybody has enjoyed this collection video, and I have shed a positive light on these Ultra builds. I'm very interested to see where LEGO is going to take this theme. We know it's going to continue on through this year of 2017. I'm really not sure on the overall performance of this theme for LEGO. I do see a lot of these sets sitting on the clearance shelves at department stores. But as long as LEGO keep producing these Ultra builds, I will certainly keep collecting them, and we really have some great ones to look forward to later this year with a original trilogy Stormtrooper. Looking forward to getting that Stormtrooper, and the Scout Trooper on the speeder bike. I mean, that just looks fantastic, and I can't wait to add that to my collection. Well, again, I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please give me a thumbs up. Don't forget to check down in the description for all the set information you might need on these Ultra builds. You'll find some links down in there too that you might find handy. Don't forget, give me a thumbs up, hit the subscribe button if you've stumbled onto my channel for the first time. I thank everybody for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye for now.